Hi everyone, my name is Mazzochi. I'm your state representative for the Illinois 47th House District. So we've had one of our first days here in the Illinois House where we actually did something, and today what we voted on were the rules. Now, I've been telling everyone that when it comes to the Illinois House, it's not just about who votes for Speaker Mike, whether it's Mike Madigan or not, it's also about who votes what on what rules that are going to govern the chamber, because the rules of procedure is what really dictates the substance that can follow. Now, we've had 50 years to learn from how Mike Madigan was able to consolidate the rules to use them, abuse them, and benefit not only himself but a whole bunch of political insiders. The new Speaker, Chris Welch, said that he was going to be a voice for reform, a voice for change, and he promised that we were going to have a new day here in Springfield. Well, today showed that that promise is really not going to have some teeth, because today what basically got passed were the same Madigan rules that we've seen before. So today's House Rules sponsor rattled off a whole bunch of things that he said, like special interest groups, that he thinks the rules are currently protecting and defending. He said that that's what these rules are all about. That's not what the rules should be all about. The rules should be about just making sure we have an orderly procedure for getting through bills here in Illinois. They shouldn't be used to silence dissent, to keep voices out. The sponsor even said that one of the things he wanted to do was use the rules to make sure that people wouldn't have enough time to organize against bills. That is an abuse of the procedural process. It's not creating more efficiency and making sure we have a good House process going here. So these rules today, they are not good for Illinois. Now, when it comes to some of the reforms that we offered, we looked to, for example, some other states. No other state gives the Speaker of the House this kind of unaccountable power. What did the Democrats say? No. We also have tools in our own state statutes that actually give our local governments some ways that they can get around the types of abuses that we're concerned about here in the rules. So we said, how about some of those? And again, the Democrats said no. If it's good enough for some of our units of local government, it really should be good enough for the People's House. And the fact that the Democrats once again said no means this is not good for Illinois. Another reform that we proposed said, hey, if we've got a majority of people on the Democrat side of the aisle, a majority of people on the Republican side of the aisle who all are behind a bill, let's make sure that can get out of committee and come to the floor for a vote. And again, the Democrats said no. Why? Because they like the power of the Speaker to be able to suppress bills, that even bipartisan bills that people want, because they want the control over the chamber. It leads to more power, more money, and unfortunately, more corruption. Another reform that we proposed was to say, when it comes to these budget bills, they're thick, they've got tens of thousands of line items in them. Usually, when I tell district residents that the way in which it happens in Springfield is all of us legislators basically get a copy of this budget and we're not even given time to read it before we're told we have to vote on it, they are appalled. And it's no wonder that Illinois is in the budget mess that it's in because of that. So one of the things we said is, okay, can we have at least one day, so that we can actually sit down, read and digest this budget before we have to vote on it? And again, the Democrats said no. That is not good for Illinois. So the majority party today was the party of no. They had a historic opportunity to sweep aside the Madigan rules that have led to nothing but corruption in the state of Illinois and start a new day and actually get Illinois back on track. And unfortunately, they broke their very first promise. They voted for the same types of rules that are going to lead to the same problems we've seen, and they've cut the voice of the people out. So that if you have a state representative who's got the majority of the chamber on board for legislation that's going to help you in your home district, the Speaker has the right to say no. That's the value the Democrats voted for today. Silencing dissent, more power to the Speaker. That's not good for Illinois.